The first time Phoenix saved a life. He was 2 years old in Kandahar. The last time, he was 8 years old in a high school parking lot in Colorado. But this time was different. This time, the enemy wasn't wearing combat gear. "Look at the freak with her fake dog!" Blake Thompson's voice cut through the morning air like shrapnel. Phoenix's ears twitched, his muscles tensing beneath his red service vest. The German shepherd's body shifted slightly, positioning himself between the voice and the 16-year-old girl holding his harness. Aria Mitchell didn't flinch. She'd learned long ago that reacting to bullies only made things worse. Her fingers found Phoenix's head, feeling the raised scar tissue where shrapnel had torn through his skull 4 years ago. The scar that had ended his military career but started his new mission, keeping her safe. "I'm talking to you, blind girl." Blake stepped closer, his $200 sneakers squeaking against the wet pavement. Behind him, Mason Hartford and Hunter Davis snickered. The 3 richest kids at Mountain View Academy, sons of lawyers and CEOs and investment bankers. They smelled like expensive cologne and cruelty. Phoenix's growl was almost inaudible. A vibration Aria felt through the harness more than heard. She knew that sound. He'd made it in Afghanistan when insurgents got too close to his unit. But she squeezed the harness twice their signal for "stand down." Before we continue with Phoenix and Aria's story, I just want to take a quick moment. If stories like this about loyalty, courage, and standing up for what's right means something to you, please hit that thanks button. It really helps more people discover these important stories. And if you have your own experience with service animals or just thoughts about what you're hearing, I'd love to read them in the comments below. "Forward, Phoenix," she said quietly. The dog obeyed, guiding her around the boys, or trying to. Hunter stepped into their path, blocking the entrance to the school. Before I continue this story, I want to take just a moment to say thank you for being here. Stories like Phoenix's stories of loyalty, courage, and justice, they need to be heard. If this story touches your heart, please consider hitting that like button and sharing your thoughts in the comments below. Your engagement helps these important stories reach more people who need to hear them. And if you believe in what we're doing here, if these stories inspire you or move you, there's a small thanks button right below this video. Any support you choose to give helps us continue bringing you these powerful true stories that remind us all of the good in this world. Every contribution, no matter how small, helps us reach someone who might be going through their own struggle and needs to hear that justice and hope are real. Thank you for being part of this community. Now, let's return to Aria and Phoenix, because what happens next will stay with you forever. "My dad says service dogs are just a scam for attention," Hunter announced. "Bet she's not even really blind." Mason laughed. "Yeah, probably just wears those stupid sunglasses to look special." Aria's fingers tightened on the harness. Beneath her hand, she felt Phoenix's medals shift under his vest, a purple heart and a bronze star, hidden where no one could see them. They didn't know. How could they? All they saw was a girl with clouded eyes and a dog. "Excuse me," Aria said calmly. "We need to get to class." Blake moved closer. Too close. Phoenix's training kicked in. He pressed his 70-pound body against Aria's legs, creating a barrier. His lips pulled back slightly, revealing teeth that had once torn through enemy combatants' weapons. "Oh, scary dog," Blake mocked. "What's he gonna do bark at me?" The first bell rang. Students streamed past them, some stopping to watch, most hurrying by with averted eyes. Nobody wanted to get on Blake Thompson's bad list. "Please move," Arya said. "Make me," Blake challenged. That's when everything went wrong. Blake reached for Arya's shoulder. Phoenix moved faster than thought, inserting himself between them, and Blake's hand hit the dog's face instead, hard. The slap echoed across the parking lot. Phoenix didn't attack, didn't bite, didn't even growl. He simply stood there, absorbing the blow, protecting his girl, a soldier following orders. "Phoenix, are you okay?" Arya dropped to her knees, hands searching his face. She felt the heat where Blake had struck him, felt him trembling, not with fear, but with the effort of restraining himself. "Oh, checking on your fake dog," Mason jeered. "Maybe we should check if he's really trained." He pulled out a chocolate bar, unwrapped it, and tossed it near Arya's feet. "Fetch, doggy." Phoenix didn't move. He knew chocolate was poison. He also knew Arya might reach for the sound of the wrapper. He positioned his body to block her hand. "Stupid mutt won't even fetch," Hunter complained. He kicked at Phoenix's side. The dog absorbed this blow too, a small whine escaping. Arya heard it, that sound of pain from a creature who'd been shot 3 times and never made a sound. "Stop it," she cried. "Please, just leave us alone." "Or what?" Blake pulled out his phone. "You gonna sick your fake service dog on us? I'm recording this. Let's see what happens when I report a dangerous dog at school." More students had gathered now. A circle of witnesses too afraid to help, too curious to leave. Someone whispered, "That's messed up." Nobody moved. Blake grabbed Phoenix's vest, yanking on it. "Let's see what's under here. Bet it's just a regular collar." "Don't touch him." Arya reached out, her hands finding Blake's arm. "That vest is federal property." "On federal property," Blake laughed, shoving her back. She stumbled, nearly falling. Phoenix caught her weight, steadying her. "You're hilarious." That's when Blake saw it. As Phoenix moved, something metallic glinted under his vest. A medal. "What's this?" Blake reached for it, fingers closing around the purple heart. "A fake medal for your fake dog." He yanked it free, the chain breaking. Phoenix made a sound, then not a growl, not a bark, a keening whine that Arya had only heard once before, when they'd visited the military cemetery where his handler was buried. "Give it back," Arya said, her voice shaking now. "You don't understand. That medal, this piece of junk." Blake held it up, showing it to his friends. "Look, guys, the blind girl put a toy medal on her dog. How pathetic is that?" Mason grabbed it, examining it. "Purple heart. My grandfather has one of these, a real one." He laughed. "This is probably from a costume store." "Please," Arya begged. "That's not fake." Phoenix served in Afghanistan. He saved 13 soldiers. He— "Shut up with your lies." Hunter interrupted. He snatched the medal from Mason, throwing it hard. It skittered across the parking lot, disappearing under a car. "Oops!" Phoenix's whole body shuddered. That medal was the last thing his handler had put on him before dying in his paws. Arya felt his distress through the harness, felt him wanting to retrieve it, but refusing to leave her side. "You know what?" Blake said, pulling out a vape pen. "I'm sick of this act. Let's test if this dog is really trained." He blew smoke directly into Phoenix's face. The dog's eyes watered. His breathing labored. For a moment, just a moment, his legs shook. Smoke. Fire. Afghanistan. The memories crashed over him. But he didn't move, didn't leave Arya's side. "Tough dog," Blake admitted. Then he smiled. Let's see how tough. What happened next would be burned into the memory of every student watching. Blake took his coffee, still hot from the drive-thru, and poured it slowly over Phoenix's back. The dog's body convulsed. His legs trembled. A sound escaped him, pain and confusion and betrayal. The coffee soaked through his fur, burning the skin underneath, finding old scars and making them scream. But Phoenix did not move. He stood there, shaking, whimpering, hot coffee dripping from his sides, and protected Arya. "Stop it! Stop it!" Arya screamed, her hands finding Phoenix, feeling the hot liquid, feeling him shaking. "You're hurting him." "Hurting him," Mason laughed. "He's supposed to be some tough military dog. Right. This is nothing." Hunter pulled out scissors from his backpack. "Hey, if he's such a hero, he won't mind if we give him a haircut." "No!" Arya tried to shield Phoenix with her body, but Hunter shoved her aside. She hit the ground hard, her sunglasses flying off. Revealing eyes clouded white with cataracts, Hunter grabbed Phoenix's ear. The dog could have destroyed him, could have taken his hand off in one bite. Instead, Phoenix turned his head away, accepting what was coming. The scissors cut deep, not just fur flesh. Blood dripped onto the pavement. Phoenix's howl of pain finally broke through the morning air. "There we go," Blake celebrated. "Finally got a reaction from the fake hero dog." Blood ran down Phoenix's face, dripping onto his vest. His whole body shook now, but still he crawled to Arya, positioning himself between her and the boys. "Phoenix," Arya sobbed, her hands finding his face, feeling the blood. "Oh God, Phoenix!" "Look at them," Mason said to the growing crowd, "the blind freak and her bleeding mutt. Take pictures. Everyone. This is hilarious." But the crowd wasn't laughing anymore. Someone whispered, "This is sick." Another said, "Should we call someone?" "Mind your business," Blake warned them. Then, to his friends, "Let's see what else this hero can take." Hunter produced a baseball bat from his car. "I've always wanted to test how service dogs react to threats." "Please," Arya begged, trying to stand, trying to shield Phoenix. "He's already hurt. Please, don't." The bat connected with Phoenix's ribs. The crack was audible across the parking lot. Phoenix went down. For the first time in his life, through bullets and bombs and burning buildings, Phoenix went down. But even as he fell strategically, his body landing across Arya's legs, still protecting, still serving. "Get up," Blake commanded. "Get up, you fake hero." Phoenix tried. God, he tried. His front legs pushed against the ground, his body screaming in protest. Blood from his ear mixed with coffee burns. At least one rib was broken. But he tried to stand. "Phoenix, stay down," Arya sobbed, her hands on his heaving sides. "Please, boy, just stay down." But Phoenix had never learned how to stop protecting. He managed to get to 3 legs, the 4th hanging useless, and stood over Arya again. "Jesus," someone in the crowd muttered. "That dog's not giving up." "Whatever," Blake said. But for the first time, uncertainty flickered in his voice. "It's just adrenaline. Let's finish this." That's when Skylar Davis arrived with her pit bull. "Hey, boys," she called out, Mason's girlfriend sauntering over with her unleashed dog. "What's going on?" "Testing if this fake service dog is really trained," Hunter explained. "Want to help?" Skylar looked at Phoenix bloody, burned, barely standing, and smiled. Thor's been needing some exercise. Her pit bull, sensing the blood and distress, began growling. "No," Arya whispered. "No, please. He won't fight back. He won't." "Then maybe he should," Skylar said, releasing Thor's collar. "Go get him, boy!" Thor charged. Phoenix saw him coming, could have met the charge, could have fought. He was trained to take down grown men with weapons, but that would mean moving away from Arya. So Phoenix did something else. He lay down on top of her, covering as much of her body as possible with his own. Thor hit him like a missile. Teeth found Phoenix's shoulder, tearing through muscle. Phoenix screamed a sound none of them had heard before, but he didn't move. Didn't fight, just endured. His body a shield. "Fight back!" Blake yelled at Phoenix. "Fight back! You coward!" But Phoenix wouldn't. Couldn't. His job was to protect Arya, not himself. Thor shook his head, trying to drag Phoenix away. Flesh tore. Blood painted the asphalt. Phoenix's breathing became labored, wet. "Call him off!" Someone in the crowd finally shouted. "Call your dog off!" Skylar laughed. "Why, the hero dog can handle it." "Right." Arya's hands found Phoenix's face, felt his eyes starting to roll back. His heartbeat under her palm was getting weaker. "You're killing him," she whispered. Then louder. "You're killing him." "So?" Blake shrugged. "Just a dog." That's when Arya's fingers found something in Phoenix's blood. Something metal. Dog tags. Not his current ones, his military ones. The ones he'd worn in Afghanistan. She pulled them free, holding them up with bloody hands. "Sergeant Phoenix," she said, her voice cutting through Thor's growls and the crowd's murmurs. "Military working dog, 3 bronze stars, 2 purple hearts, 13 confirmed saves." "Bullshit," Mason said, but his voice wavered. "Serial number K9428, Arya continued, reciting from memory. "Wounded in action, Kandahar province, retired with full honors." She stood up, Phoenix's blood on her hands, her dead eyes somehow finding Blake's. "And every single thing you've done to him," she said quietly, "has been recorded." "What?" Blake laughed nervously. "You're blind. You can't—" Arya pulled out her phone, specialized for the blind, voice activated, and streaming. "I've been live streaming to the Colorado Military K9 Veterans Association," she said. "They know Phoenix. They know what you've done." The crowd's phones began buzzing. Notifications, shares, the live stream spreading. "And there's something else you should know," Arya said, kneeling back down beside Phoenix, whose breathing was getting shallower. "My father, Colonel Mitchell, commander of Fort Carson's K9 unit." Blake's face went white. "Phoenix saved his life in Afghanistan," Arya whispered, cradling the dying dog's head. "And now you've killed him." Sirens in the distance, getting closer. Phoenix's tail thumped once against the ground. Even now, trying to comfort her. "Good boy," Arya whispered as his eyes began to close. "Good boy. Phoenix, you did your job." The sirens were louder now. Thor had been pulled back, leaving Phoenix's torn body exposed. The crowd was silent except for some crying. Blake tried to run. Mason and Hunter, too. They made it 3 steps before the police cars screeched into the parking lot. Not regular police. Military police from Fort Carson. "Nobody move!" The command voice of soldiers who meant business. But Arya wasn't listening. She was holding Phoenix, feeling his heartbeat slow, then stop. "Phoenix," she whispered. "Phoenix, please." Nothing. The decorated war hero who had survived 3 bullets, an IED, and a burning building, lay still in a high school parking lot, killed by entitled children who thought cruelty was entertainment. Arya began CPR, pumping his chest, breathing into his lungs. "Come on, soldier. That's an order. Pump, pump, breathe. You don't get to leave me. Pump, pump, breathe. Phoenix, please." And then, a heartbeat. Weak, thready. But there. Phoenix's eye cracked open, finding Arya's face. "That's it," she sobbed. "That's my boy. Stay with me." The MPs had Blake and his friends on the ground now. One of them approached Arya carefully. "Ma'am, we need to get him to the Veterinary Trauma Center. Now." "He's alive," Arya said. "He's still alive. Not for long if we don't move." "That's... Jesus Christ. That's Phoenix. That's actually Phoenix." More sirens, an emergency veterinary ambulance, soldiers who recognized the dog they'd heard stories about as they loaded Phoenix onto a stretcher. Arya kept her hand on him. "You did it, boy. You protected me, just like always." Phoenix's tail moved slightly, still on duty, still her guardian. Blake, face pressed against the asphalt, watched them take Phoenix away. "It's just a dog," he muttered. The MP above him laughed bitterly. "That dog has more medals than I do, and you just committed a federal crime." "What? Attacking a service animal? Attacking a military service animal? Attempted murder of a decorated veteran." The MP leaned down. "Hope your daddy's lawyer is real good. Kid, you're going to need it." As the ambulance pulled away, Arya inside with Phoenix, she whispered something only he could hear. "They're going to pay for this, boy. Every last one of them is going to pay." Phoenix's eye found hers, even through the pain, even dying. His expression was clear, mission accomplished, target protected. The war hero had done his duty. Now it was her turn. The Veterinary Trauma Center at Fort Carson looked more like a human hospital than an animal clinic. It had to. The military working dogs treated here had saved more lives than most soldiers. Phoenix had been in surgery for 6 hours. Arya sat in the waiting room, still wearing clothes stained with his blood. Her father, Colonel Mitchell, stood beside her in full uniform, his jaw clenched tight enough to crack teeth. 7 broken ribs, the surgeon had said, punctured lung, severe tissue damage, burns across 30% of his body. And that's not counting the psychological trauma. Around them, the room filled with soldiers. Word had spread through Fort Carson like wildfire. Phoenix was here. Phoenix was dying. The dog who'd saved their brothers and sisters in Afghanistan was fighting for his life, because some rich kids thought torture was fun. "Colonel Mitchell," Arya's head snapped up at the new voice. "Special Agent Sarah Chen, FBI." "I'm here about the live stream," Agent Chen continued. "We've reviewed the footage. What those kids did, it's not just assault on a service animal. It's torture. It's a hate crime. And because Phoenix is federally registered, it's our jurisdiction now." "Good," Colonel Mitchell said quietly. Too quietly. The kind of quiet that preceded storms. "There's more," Agent Chen said. "The boy, Blake Thompson. This isn't his first incident with animals. We found something." She handed the colonel a file. His face darkened as he read. 3 dogs, he said. "He's poisoned 3 dogs in his neighborhood. Parents paid off the owners." Not this time, Agent Chen promised. The live stream has 12 million views. Someone leaked it to a veterans group. It's everywhere. The whole country is watching. Aria's phone hadn't stopped buzzing. Messages from veterans across America. From canine handlers who'd served with Phoenix. From people who'd never met him but understood what he represented. Aria. She recognized the voice. Jordan Baker. The quiet kid from her English class. The only one who'd ever been kind to her. "I'm sorry," Jordan said. "I was there. I saw it happening. I should have—" "Did you film it?" Aria interrupted. "What? Did you film any of it?" Jordan shifted uncomfortably. "My dash cam. I'd just parked when it started. It caught everything. The baseball bat. The pit bull. Everything." "Give it to the FBI," Aria said simply. "Please." "Already did." "But Aria, there's something else. About Blake's father. He's a federal judge." Agent Chen finished. "We know. He's already called 3 times trying to make this go away." "Can he?" Aria asked. "No." Agent Chen's voice was steel. "Not this time. Too many witnesses. Too much evidence. And Phoenix," she paused. "Phoenix isn't just any military dog. He's in the Hall of Fame. He has a congressional commendation. Attacking him is like attacking a war memorial." The surgery doors opened. Dr. Patel emerged, exhaustion written across her face. "He's alive," she said immediately. "Barely. But he's a fighter." Aria's whole body sagged with relief. "Can I see him?" "Soon. He's still sedated. But there's something you should know." Dr. Patel's voice softened. "His left hind leg. The damage was too severe. We had to amputate." The waiting room went silent. Phoenix, who'd run through minefields, who'd leaped over walls to reach wounded soldiers. Phoenix would wake up missing a leg, because some bored rich kids wanted entertainment. "He'll need months of therapy," Dr. Patel continued, "physical and psychological. What he endured, dogs remember trauma just like humans do." "He'll get it," Colonel Mitchell said. "Whatever he needs." "There's a crowd outside," someone mentioned. "News crews, veterans with signs." Aria stood. "I want to see them." Her father guided her outside. The noise hit her immediately, not angry shouting, but something else, chanting. "Justice for Phoenix, justice for Phoenix." Hundreds of people, veterans in wheelchairs, canine handlers with their dogs, families with children holding signs, all here for a dog they'd never met, but whose story they knew. "Miss Mitchell," a reporter's microphone near her face, "they're saying this is just about a dog. What's your response?" Aria turned toward the voice, her blind eyes somehow finding the camera. "Phoenix detected an IED that would have killed 15 soldiers," she said clearly. "He took 3 bullets, pulling a wounded Marine to safety. He ran into a burning building to save 2 Afghan children. He's not just a dog. He's a hero. And they tortured him for fun." Blake Thompson's lawyer says the video was edited. There were 47 witnesses. Aria interrupted. 3 different camera angles, and Phoenix's blood is still on Blake's shoes. The crowd roared approval. "What do you want to happen?" another reporter asked. "I want them to understand," Aria said. "When you attack a service dog, you're not just hurting an animal. You're attacking someone's lifeline, someone's freedom, someone's guardian angel." Her voice broke slightly. "Phoenix was my eyes, my protector, my best friend, and they tried to kill him because they were bored. 3 days later, Phoenix woke up. Aria was there, her hand on his head. When his eye opened, he tried to stand immediately, protect Aria. Always protect Aria, and discovered his leg was gone. The confusion in his whine broke her heart. "It's okay, boy," she whispered. "You're safe. We're safe." Phoenix's nose found her hand, checking her for injuries. Still on duty, even now. "The vet says you're a miracle," she told him. "Says any other dog would have died, but not you. Not my soldier." His tail thumped weakly. That same day, the arrests happened. Blake Thompson, pulled from his mansion in handcuffs, while news helicopters circled overhead. His father, Judge Thompson, screaming about lawsuits and connections. Mason Hartford, crying as they led him away. His prosecutor father unable to help. Hunter Davis, trying to run, tackled on his own lawn. Skylar Davis, still insisting it was just a joke as they read her rights. The charges were federal: conspiracy to commit torture, aggravated assault on a service animal, attempted murder of a military working dog, hate crime enhancements. The prosecutors weren't playing games. "Each charge carries 5 to 15 years, Agent Chen told Aria. "And we're pursuing maximum sentences." But it was the public response that truly shocked everyone. Hatch Justice for Phoenix became the top trending topic globally. The video, the full, unedited horror of it was everywhere. News channels played it with warnings. Talk shows discussed it. Veterans organizations mobilized. Someone leaked Blake's previous incidents. The 3 poisoned dogs. The cats he'd shot with BB guns. The pattern of escalation. Then came the other victims, a girl from Blake's previous school. "He broke my service dog's tail," said it was an accident. A veteran from Mason's neighborhood, "He would throw rocks at my PTSD dog." A blind man from Hunter's Country Club, "He put glass in my guide dog's food bowl." 13 people. 13 service dogs. All too afraid or too poor to fight back before. Not anymore. The trial date was set. But first, Phoenix had to testify. Yes, dogs could testify. Not with words, but with presence. 6 weeks after the attack, Phoenix entered the courtroom, 3 legs instead of 4. Shaved patches where the burns had been. A prosthetic being fitted, but not ready yet. He wore his full military dress. Every medal, every commendation. The Purple Heart. Blake had thrown, now polished and prominent. The prosecution had arranged something special. "Your Honor," the lead prosecutor announced, "we'd like to present Phoenix's service record." On the screen, Afghanistan. Phoenix detecting an IED, saving 15 soldiers. Phoenix dragging a wounded Marine 200 yards under fire. Phoenix entering a burning building, emerging with 2 children. The jury watched in silence. Then came the hard part. "Phoenix," the prosecutor said gently, "can you identify who hurt you?" Phoenix had been trained for this, identifying enemies. His nose went up, scenting the room. Then he turned, 3-legged but steady, and looked directly at the defendant's table. A low growl, not aggressive, mournful, the sound of betrayal. He took 1 step toward Blake, then stopped, his whole body trembling, his tail tucked, his head lowered. This massive war hero, cowering at the sight of a teenager. Several jurors wiped their eyes. "Let the record show," the judge said quietly, "that the victim has identified the defendants." Blake's lawyer tried to object. "This is theatrics." This is evidence. The judge cut him off. The dog's reaction is consistent with trauma response. Then Aria took the stand. She brought the audio. Enhanced by FBI tech, you could hear everything. Blake's laughter as Phoenix bled. Mason's mockery as he burned. Hunter's excitement as he swung the bat. Skylar's encouragement as her dog tore flesh. But worse than the violence was the cruelty. The joy in their voices. The disappointment when Phoenix wouldn't fight back. He just kept protecting me, Aria testified. Even when Thor was ripping him apart, even when he was dying, he never stopped protecting me. Why didn't he fight back? The prosecutor asked. A military dog could have killed those attackers. Because that's not who Phoenix is, Aria said simply. He's not a weapon. He's a guardian. He only knows how to protect, not attack. The defense tried. They really did. Kids make mistakes, Blake's lawyer argued. This was a prank gone wrong. The prosecutor's response was devastating. A prank. She pulled up the video. Let me show you their prank. Blake pouring hot coffee, laughing. Hunter swinging the baseball bat, celebrating. Mason cutting Phoenix's ear, joking. Skylar releasing her dog, cheering. This isn't a prank, the prosecutor said. This is torture. Premeditated, filmed, celebrated. Then came the character witnesses. Soldiers Phoenix had saved. Families he'd protected. Children who'd grown up because he'd detected bombs meant for their schools. Each one looked at Blake and his friends. Each one said the same thing. Phoenix gave everything for us, and you tried to take him for nothing. The jury deliberated for 2 hours. Guilty. All counts. All defendants. Blake Thompson, 8 years federal prison. Mason Hartford, 6 years federal prison. Hunter Davis, 6 years federal prison. Skylar Davis, 4 years federal prison. The courtroom erupted, not in chaos, but in something else. Applause. From veterans, from other service dog handlers, from people who understood that justice had finally been served. But the story wasn't over, because while the defendants were being led away in handcuffs, something else was happening. Phoenix's law was being signed, emergency legislation, fast-tracked through Congress. Any attack on a service animal would now be a federal felony. Mandatory minimums, no plea bargains, and at the signing ceremony, there was Phoenix, 3 legs, battle scars, but standing tall in his dress uniform as the president signed the law named for him. This law, the president said, ensures that what happened to Phoenix never happens to another service animal. These animals give everything for us. The least we can do is protect them in return. Phoenix sat quietly through it all, his remaining eye on Aria, still on duty, still her guardian. 6 months later, Mountain View Academy had a new student, a young veteran, injured in Syria, with her service dog. The hallways parted for them. Students who'd once stood silent now made sure she had space, made sure no one bothered her or her dog, because everyone remembered Phoenix. Everyone remembered what happened to those who hurt service animals. In the training yard at Fort Carson, Phoenix worked with new recruits. Not military dogs, service dogs. Teaching them what he knew, how to protect, how to endure, how to never give up. His prosthetic leg clicked on the concrete as he demonstrated positioning. The young dogs watched in awe. This was Phoenix. The Phoenix, the one whose story every service dog heard. He's training others now, Colonel Mitchell told Arya as they listened to the session. Even with 3 legs, he's still serving. That's who he is, Arya said, her hand finding Phoenix's head during a break. He doesn't know how to stop helping. The applications for service dogs have tripled since the trial, the colonel mentioned. People who were afraid before. They're not afraid anymore. Good, Arya said simply. Phoenix nuzzled her hand, then returned to his students. One of them, a young golden retriever, was struggling with protection positioning. Phoenix demonstrated again. Slower, patient. A teacher now. The golden tried again. Better this time. Phoenix's tail wagged the highest praise he gave. You know Blake gets out in 8 years, her father said quietly. I know, Arya replied. You worried. Arya smiled, her hand on Phoenix's scarred head. No, she said, because Phoenix will still be here, and now, thanks to him, so will the law that protects others like him. She knelt down, whispering in Phoenix's ear. You did it, Ba, you changed everything. Phoenix leaned into her, his weight solid and reassuring despite the missing leg. A hero's work was never done. But at least now, heroes like Phoenix would never stand alone. Justice had been served. Laws had been changed. Lives had been saved. All because one dog refused to stop protecting the girl he loved, even when it cost him everything. And somewhere in federal prison, 4 spoiled children were learning what Phoenix had always known. True strength isn't about power. It's about protecting those who can't protect themselves, even if it costs you everything. Especially then. You know Blake gets out in 8 years, her father said quietly. I know, Arya replied. You worried? Arya smiled, her hand on Phoenix's scarred head. No, she said, because Phoenix will still be here, and now, thanks to him, so will the law that protects others like him. She knelt down, whispering in Phoenix's ear. You did it, boy. You changed everything. Phoenix leaned into her, his weight solid and reassuring despite the missing leg. But the story didn't end there. 2 years later, Arya stood at a podium at the National Service Dog Memorial dedication. Phoenix sat beside her, his prosthetic leg gleaming in the sunlight. Behind them, a bronze statue captured the moment he'd shielded her from Thor, a permanent reminder of sacrifice and loyalty. Phoenix taught us something, Arya said into the microphone, her voice carrying across the crowd of thousands. That courage isn't the absence of fear. It's protecting others despite that fear. It's choosing love over survival. In the audience, a young girl sat with her new service dog trained by Phoenix himself. She'd been attacked at her school. Her first service dog killed by bullies who thought it was funny. Phoenix's law had put them away. Phoenix's training program had given her hope again. Some people ask me, Arya continued, if I forgive Blake and the others. The truth is, forgiveness isn't mine to give. It's Phoenix's. And every day, when he trains new service dogs, when he helps veterans with PTSD, when he visits schools to teach children about respect and compassion, he shows us what forgiveness looks like. It looks like turning your pain into purpose. Phoenix's ear, the one Hunter had cut, twitched at the sound of applause. The scar was still visible, would always be visible. But he wore it like another medal. After the ceremony, a reporter asked Phoenix's trainer at Fort Carson what made Phoenix special. Most dogs would have become aggressive after what happened. The trainer said, most would have lost trust in humans. But Phoenix, he became gentler, more patient. It's like he understood his mission had changed. He wasn't just protecting Arya anymore. He was protecting every service dog that would come after him. That night, in their quiet home, Arya sat with Phoenix on the porch. His breathing was slower these days, his muzzle graying. The vet said he had maybe 2 more years, 3 if they were lucky. You know what? Arya said softly. We did good, boy, real good. Phoenix's tail thumped against the wooden boards, once, twice, his way of saying yes. In federal prisons across the country, 4 young adults served their time, but Phoenix had already moved on. He had dogs to train, children to teach, and a girl to protect. Because that's what heroes do. They endure, they forgive, they keep serving, even if it costs them everything, especially then, and somewhere in America. Every single day. A service dog walks safely beside their human, protected by Phoenix's law, inspired by Phoenix's courage, carrying on Phoenix's legacy, one paw print at a time.